let's start in this class. Let me show you down here, over here on Initialize, I can modify the cube's mesh. I'll decrease this to 12, so we can paint it with more ease. Let's leave it like that. Now, I'll select Make Polymesh 3D with the gizmo. I'll clone it twice. Hold Control. We'll leave a little gap in between. 1 and 2. I'll duplicate it. Duplicate. And I'll hide the one below. And I'll apply it to the one up here. Control D. One subdivision. But I'll show you something. I don't want these borders to be smoothed. If I keep applying here subdivisions up to 4, we can notice the borders get too round, and that's not what I want. So let's go back on the actions, and I'll hit this button to disable that option. And what it does, enabled, is to smooth the subdivisions. In this case, since I've disabled it, I'll apply Ctrl D. ZBrush has applied the subdivision without smoothing anything on the mesh. I'll apply 4. This allows me to, like for instance, I'd like to paint using standard. Set it on RGB, and if I want to paint it, let's say a red color, for instance, Shift F, it lets me paint it with way more ease. That wouldn't happen if we had only one subdivision. I'll hit here on Fill Object first, so it paints it completely of this color. And now I'll paint with this color, red in this case, and we can notice it doesn't let me do it properly since I've got too few subdivisions. What we have to do in this case is to increase the subdivisions and then paint it. So now it allows me paint it with more precision. The more subdivisions, let's say it's 5, the better we can paint. We've done that for us to be able to paint these faces. So I'll create a mask and disable perspective, take the mask off, right over this first line, and I'll paint it green, could be. Fill, remove the mask. I'll create a mask up to the lower line over here and change the tone to this one perhaps. Fill. Now, I've got 3 different colors which will help us a lot as guides. I don't need this one down here anymore. I'll delete it. Since I've got this one up here, I'll duplicate it. But what I'll do with it is to convert it to Dynamesh with a low resolution. Shift F to check the polygons on the mesh, and yeah, it worked perfectly because it has merged the faces. But, well, not entirely. I'll hit Dynamesh once again and try to smooth around these borders, these joints. The idea is to get them connected. I'll decrease the resolution, drag outside. When we don't get this result, we could apply then zero measure, I'll enable solo, and well, at least it's connected all the parts. Something else we have to do is to try to get less polygons. We could leave the zero measure on 1. We apply again zero measure, and I think we can work with this mesh with more ease. I'll remove the floor, solo, enable transparency, and as I first told you, we'll use this guide for defining certain heights. Over here will be quite difficult to work only using move, so we'll work a lot using masks. For instance, at this height, I'll select a mask, lasso, and around here I'll invert it. And I'll use move to take it downwards. I'll lift this portion, like so, and get this down, here. I'll remove the mask and modify it like this. I'll smooth it. We should push this portion forward as we move the portions. We could apply some smoothing around the borders, for instance over here. I need to make this portion look more round. And I apply smooth. Same over here. Let's remember, over here by the joint with the leg, we have to move this portion a bit towards the middle. We smooth. This distance over here, we'll place a finger here, and over here on this angle. Let me show you with the foot I've made. This line shows the border for this foot. In fact, let me show you something on this foot. This portion around this edge we could use it as a guide. We have to work with perspective disabled, that's quite important. This edge reaches this portion here actually. And right here, where the little finger begins, basically is where we have the gap of our cubes. Let's hide the guide for a while. I'll take this backwards. And I'll project a bit more this area. I'll smooth all this border. In addition to that, over here we'll take this portion inwards. And underneath, let me show you, there is kind of a bridge on this side of the foot, which is shaped like so. Let's smooth it again. I'll take this portion of the mesh a lot downwards. This is pretty much the angle we need. Let's bring our guides back so we can check our progress. Over here, it should be more round. Let's hide this. Alright, let's take a pause, and on the next video, we'll continue by sculpting a sketch of the foot.